Now, did you have the same cover artist from people? Ah, did a good
Yeah,
job.
yeah, same guy.
Came out great. It's very,
Thank you.
very, very hot cover, as you see.
He's a wonderful artist. I love the minimalist aesthetic for different covers. The cover that I have in mind for my first full length horror novel, it could go one of two ways. I might use him again. I'd like to use him again if he's available, but I have like a more traditional horror cover in mind for that one as well. Something a little more along there's like this weird trend in horror covers that they don't look like horror. They just kind of look like paintings nowadays, and you would never even know that they were horror. Like if you look at the cover of John Langan's The Fisherman, you would never know that that's a horror book. If you looked at the cover of Paul Tremblay's Survivor Song, it could be anything. I don't know. It could be an action thing. I don't know. But I do like a cover that sort of clues you in as to what's on the inside, something that doesn't leave you guessing.
Yeah, it's effective. It's a good, it's a very good cover. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
And you made there's a YouTube video. It was a little short. Who drew all that stuff? That's a little the little trailer of the book.
Yeah, her name is Alexis Macaluso, and she's based out of Michigan. She's amazing. She has a collective. It's called Night Waves, and I follow them on YouTube. And if you go on YouTube, you type Night Waves, you'll see some of their animated horror stories that they do, and they're just so good. I was so happy. I was turned on to them by a friend of mine, Lori, and I messaged them and asked them if they'd be interested in doing the trailer, and thankfully they said yes. And it came out exactly as I was hoping it would, and I'm so happy with it. I love it. I think it's she's also brilliantly funny. Alexis is like one of the funniest people I follow on Instagram. She's definitely a funny follow. So definitely somebody to give some love to, because they did a really great job with my trailer, and their work is really great. Like I said, Night Waves on YouTube.
I'd have to see if they want to be guests. That sounds interesting.
Oh yeah, they're awesome people.
Were there any stories that didn't make the cut this time?
There were. Oh. There is a story. It's so funny that you asked that. There's a story that is in the process of being sold to possibly being sold. I hope that they buy it. I think that they will, to a potential Christmas anthology, and it's a story that takes place on New Year's Eve. I don't think I'll ever write about Christmas because I hate Christmas, but I did write about New Year's Eve.
Humbug.
Exactly, damn right. So, that story almost made it into this collection because I wrote it right on the heels of Miscellaneous Ephemera, which was actually the last story that I wrote for this collection. Yeah. So I wrote this one right on its heels, and I was like, all right, I think there's enough in here because this is a lot of pages right now. So maybe this one will be in the next one. It definitely will be in the next one, but it might be in another anthology that I think is supposed to come out like mid-December. So they got to let me know.
Oh, okay.
Soonish, I think.
And you had a voiceover artist record your first book?
Yes.
What was the a voiceover artist's name? Do you know?
Yeah, Russell Archie. And he is with, I think his media company is Raven Media. And yeah, he's super talented. His voice is remarkably creepy. He has this I don't remember specifically where he's from, but he almost has this it feels New England-y, but he's not from New England at all. He almost has that, like, you remember the tenor in you don't want to go down that road. The guy from the Herman Munster. Munster in that. He has like the tenor of that kind of voice, without the New Englandy accent. So he's got that northeastern presence without having the accent.
That resting hollow presence.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, he's got a wonderful voice, and I was very lucky to have him do the first book for sure.
And you wanted to have an audiobook?
Yeah, I thought it would have been interesting, and with the options available, it was it was easy enough to do, and it was fun. It was cool hearing him do the stories for sure. He did an audio version of one of the stories in this book as well for his YouTube, which is the Dark Volumes is his YouTube channel.
Oh, so does he just do horror and suspense, that kind of genre?
Yeah, he's done a lot of Lovecrafty stuff. I think he did some Poe, and he's done some Ottone, and there's been some. He's done a bunch of different things, but he does a nice job. So I'm very happy with it.
All right. Is he going to do the next one, do you think?
I don't know. There was a lot of things I wanted to do with this one that I just couldn't make happen. I wanted to do a grimoire edition. I had been talking to an artist. It's like a grimoire is like a book of spells for a witch kind of thing. And I had been talking to a artist on Reddit about doing like 10 special grimoire editions that are bound in leather, and he cures leather, and he does all of it himself. So there would be 10 of these grimoire editions where the leather looks like human flesh, and has red cracks in it to look like blood and viscera and stuff like that. And we just couldn't make it happen.
So it'd be like Klaatu, Barada, Nectar.
Basically, yeah. And he's he's a great artist or whatever, but he just seemed to like drop off the face of the earth when we were talking about it. So
maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm actually curious about how you getting a book to print into a hard and soft cover. I mean, is that done where you live, or is that something that's just done through a third party? I've always been curious. There are printers here on Long Island that do handle it, but it's primarily through a third party. We go through a printer online. They do a lot of printing for everybody. They do a lot of printing for Barnes & Noble and stuff like that. So like when Barnes & Noble has their classics editions, this is the company that does them. So it's the same printer with them. And they were actually... It was making me nervous because they were like, oh, coronavirus, we're behind. Everything is set back. And I was like, oh, Jesus, this thing going to knock my book out. But no, they actually delivered it ahead of time. They were ready ahead of time with mine. So there are tons of printers. There's actually... and do they ship from there?
What's that?
They ship from them?
Yeah, it ships directly from them, too. Yeah, they handle everything.
So, yeah, I always wondered about that because where does the book get printed from? So, do you have any say in how it comes out, or they just
they'll send you they send you an author's proof copy of it, and I don't even know. Oh, I don't have any of my author's proof copies anymore. Actually, I gave one to my girlfriend, one to my mom, and I sent one to an editor to look at. But yeah, they'll send it to you, and basically, if there's anything wrong with it at that stage, you can let them know, and they fix it. And then, I can log in and upload new files and stuff like that if I wanted to. But in this case, it looked fine with the first proof that we got. Everything looked I was happy with it.
And do you say, okay, I want X amount of books printed?
It's based on orders, basically. So, like, if, for example, Fourth World here has, they put in an order for about a case, and I think a case is 20.
Oh, they're going to
So I think they print it up themselves, and then they ship the case to them. I have a case next to me right now that I got because I have a couple giveaways that I was doing where people want signed copies. So I have, I think I have, how many in there? I think I got about a dozen next to me right now, and they just sent those to me because they knew I needed them to
take care of the signing part. I had to mail one to Australia today, and it was so expensive.
Wow, I could imagine here. You should have sent some Foster's Lager in there. It's like we already have this over here. What are you sending us?
I always think of the Simpsons thing when the guy's like, "Oh, you've played Knifey Spoony before," and they do the thing with the knives and spoons. I don't know. Every time I think of Australia, that's what I think of.
Oh, the toilet bowl, the water.
With the little kids like, "My gun." Aw.
So you're going to do some readings? Is that correct? Is that what's coming up next?
I am. Yeah, I have a reading on October 8th on YouTube. It's with the Horror Writers Association of New York, and it's called Galactic Terrors. They have their own YouTube channel, Galactic Terrors. You can just go to there, and I think it's at 8 o'clock, I'm pretty sure. And I'll be doing a reading with them. I'm one of 4 authors on the panel that night. And then I have some other online readings through the Brentwood Public Library, another one through the Jericho Library, another one through the Sayville Library, and I'm doing it's called Writer's Cove. It's basically I do a reading and then I talk about how to write a spooky story, and that's with the Riverhead Public Library. So I'm doing a lot of library readings, which is nice. It's a lot of fun. I did a program with the Brentwood Library about the Long Island serial killer, and it was the highest attendance that they had for an online thing. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So they asked me if I wanted to do anything else, and I was like, well, it just so happens. And they were all about it, and they're a dream to work with. So yeah, and Sayville. I'm doing a reading with the Sayville Library on Facebook Live. I think that is October 14th or something like that, but Brentwood is October 13th. Oh no, Jericho and Sayville are October 29th. They're the same day. One's in the early part of the day, one's at night.
October 13th is my wedding anniversary.
Oh, bon anniversaire.
Oh, good. So these will all be online?
Oh, yeah, they're all online. And I'm posting about them as they come up. I posted the schedule once before, but I'll be posting links to all the registration stuff and on Facebook and on Instagram and whatnot. And it should be fun. I know what story I'm going to be reading for the October 8th reading, but I don't know specifically what I'll be reading for the other ones because I have no time restrictions on those. So do whatever the hell I want.
Read support. I like that one.
Yeah, I probably will do support at the I'll do support for the Brentwood Library one for sure because I like support a lot. I think that's a fun story, so I'll definitely do that one for that. If you tell me that you're going to come to that one, I'll do that one.
So yeah,
throwing the gauntlet down.
Well, so where are we going to find these links? Is it on the Spooky House Instagram or your Instagram? Where should we look?
They'll be on my Instagram. They'll also be on the Spooky House Press website as well. I'm going to post all the links to there. So spookyhousepress.com, you can find all of the links to the different readings, and also on my Instagram at Robert Ottone.
What's the Brentwood date?
October 13th.
Oh, my wedding anniversary. What time?
I think it's at 7 p.m. or 8. Let me just check my calendar really quick. I'm pretty sure it's 7.
Not like we can celebrate our wedding anniversary anywhere anyway.
It's at 7 p.m., yeah. Okay. And I think it goes to about 8:30. But like, we do a Q&A also, so if it goes a little later than 8:30, that's awesome. Or, if it goes longer than that, it's all good. So, yeah, the 13th is Brentwood. The 14th is the Riverhead Library. And that's sort of like I said, it's a reading, but it's also a writing workshop, which I think will be a lot of fun. And then I have the 29th at 2 p.m. the Jericho Public Library, which is very, very prestigious. It is Jericho. And then the Sayville Library, which will be a lot of fun. Sayville is they're cool. They're very sweet there. They're all very sweet. All the libraries I'm doing are very sweet people.
Nice. Very good.
Yeah.
Glad you're doing that. So what's next for you as a writer?
Yeah.
You mentioned some stuff.
I'm sorry, yes. I'm working on the second draft of my YA novel. a novel of high seas horror, which is sort of like what I'm calling it in the back of my head. So I'm working on the second